Very good afternoon to you all. Warm greetings from Bharat Institute of Higher Education and Research. My name is Alan Geo from Department of Computer Science and Engineering, Bharat Institute of Higher Education and Research. I'm going to explain about the topic Introduction to Foundation of Design and Analysis of Algorithm from the subject Design and Analysis of Algorithm. So before going to the topic, we'll just discuss about the basic thing of the subjects. So we'll just break down the whole subject into two different categories. As you can see, design and analysis of algorithm. So you're going to design the algorithm and you'll be analyzing the algorithm what you have designed earlier. Again, before going to it, we'll see what is an algorithm. So what is an algorithm? Algorithm are step-by-step instructions. So what is an instruction? So you want to do something, you want to complete a task. So to complete the task, we need some instructions. So that's our algorithm. So only if your instruction is good in a very efficient one, you can complete the task which is given. So that is the work of the algorithm. So what is an algorithm? Algorithm are step-by-step instructions for completing task. So you're going to design the algorithm and you're going to analyze the algorithm. So we are going to discuss about these things. So while going to it, the first important thing about this course, what we are going to study is the theoretical study of design and analysis of computer algorithm. So we'll be just seeing what is the need for design and analysis of algorithms, computer algorithms. So as I said earlier, through this algorithm, we'll be completing task. So once the algorithm is written, once the step-by-step instruction is written, based on the algorithms, based on the algorithms, you'll be just writing the programming codes. It may be C or it may be C++, it may be Java, Python, any programming language. So those programming languages will be written on the basic of the algorithm, based on the algorithms. So those programs will run, will be executed, and it gains the output. So only if the algorithm, what you're going to design is an efficient one, you can get an efficient output. So this is what about design and analysis of the algorithm. So what is the basic goal for this algorithm? So the algorithm, what you're going to code, the algorithms, what you're going to write, it should be a correct one. It should be a very correct one. So a relevant algorithm or the relevant program or problem should be given. So that's what correct algorithm has to be coded out. The second point says that the algorithm, what you have written, should terminate. It should not run again and again. It should not flow. The running process should not be continuous. It should not be looped. So the algorithm, what you have written, should terminate at some point. So only after that, you'll get the output. So the third one says about the performance. So that is this class of the algorithm. What is the performance? Performance. So only through the performance, you can find out the efficiency of the algorithm. Let's say, for example, let's take a electrical fan. You want to find out the efficiency of the electrical fan. Based on the performance, the running of the electrical fan for many years, you can find out the efficiency without any problem, without any mechanical problem. You can say that the efficiency of the fan is good. So same as like that, an efficient student. how a student is said to be an efficient student based on his performance. So what is a performance? Let's say the assessment, the exam what we are giving for the student. It might be a monthly exam, or it might be a term exam, or it might be the semester exam. Based on the performance of the student in the exam, we can say he is an efficient student. Same as like that, an algorithm can be said as an efficient algorithm only through its performance. Only through its performance. So performance often draw the line between what is possible and what is impossible. Whether the student can study well, whether the student cannot study, only this performance is. So that's what the last point states, that performance often draws the line between what is possible and what is impossible. So far, we saw three different points about this course. What is the goal of this algorithm? First one, the algorithm, what you're writing. The algorithm, what you're going to code, should be a correct algorithm, which says that a relevant algorithm should be given to the relevant problem. Only then the problem can be solved out. If it is not the relevant, if it is not, if the algorithm is not relevant to the problem, there is no use of the algorithm. So second one states that the algorithm should terminate. So in a point, the algorithm should terminate. It should end. It should not flow again and again. It should not go into the loop. It should terminate. So only if the algorithm is terminated, you can get the output, exact output of the problem what you're going to solve it. And the third important one, it is a class, the performance. What is a performance? As I said, the efficiency of the algorithm. The efficiency of the algorithm can be found out through the performance of it. How the algorithm is performing in various input which can, even though the input is high, even though the input is low, if the performance of the algorithm is good, you can say it is the efficient algorithm. So that's what this last point says, that performance often draws the line between what is possible and what is impossible. Next one, an algorithm, about the algorithm. An algorithm is a sequence of unambiguous instructions. What is that unambiguous instruction? Instructions which are very clear. The instructions which are very clear is said to be as unambiguous instructions. So, an algorithm is a sequence of unambiguous instructions for solving a problem. So, you're instructing the computer to complete a task. So, the instruction what is given should be very clear. So, the term unambiguous says it is clear. Something is clear. So, what is clear? The instruction what we are going to give. The instruction what you're going to instruct the computer for solving a problem should be clear based on the input. For obtaining a required output for any legitimate input in a finite amount of time. So an algorithm is a sequence of unambiguous instruction for An algorithm is a sequence of unambiguous instruction for solving a problem. An algorithm, it is a sequence of unambiguous instructions for solving a problem. That is, for obtaining a required output. Because once the problem is solved, you'll be just getting an output. You'll be just requiring an output. You'll be getting an output for any input. So the solving of the problem should be done in a very less time. Even though the size of the input is high, even though the size of the problem is more high, the solving of that problem, if it is done in very less time, it is said to be an efficient algorithm. The input which is given, if the size of the input is more, even though the size of the input is more, the algorithm what you have coded, if it takes only less time and less amount of space, eventually to complete a process, you need the memory. You need to access the memory. To do a process, to do and complete a process, you need a memory. So inside a memory only, the whole process is done, the whole problem is solved, and you are getting the output. So what is an algorithm? An algorithm is a sequence of unambiguous instruction for solving a problem. An ambiguous instruction for solving a problem. That is, for obtaining a required output, for getting a required output for any legitimate, which means any size, the size of the input can be at any range. It might be a large input or it might be a small input at any size. The algorithm should complete the task. That's what was the task, to solve the problem and give the output. I hope up to this you would have understand it. So these are the very basic of design and analysis of an algorithm. So now we'll move on to the next important topic. Next correlated one. The other important things for algorithm. So the algorithm can be represented in various forms. Say for an example, there is something called sorting. Sorting. The term sorting is none other. You'll be arranging. You'll be arranging. What you'll be arranging? You'll be arranging the input in certain way. It might be in ascending order or it might be in descending order. I hope that you would have understood it. So you need an algorithm to do the sorting. There are many sorting techniques, bubble sort technique goes on. Sorting algorithm, there are many different sorting methods. So there are different sorting algorithm for do a single process. So that's what it says, that an algorithm can be represented in various forms. It can be represented in various forms. So that is the first point. Next one, clearness. The algorithm should be very clear. Should be a clear algorithm. It should be understandable to all. It should be very clear. Effectiveness. What is that effective? It should be very effective once the output is given. Once the output is given, you should get the, once the input is given, you have to get the output. I'm sorry, once the input is given, you have to get the output for the input what you have given already. That's what effectiveness. Next one, finiteness, termination. It should terminate. It should not be looped again and again. It should stop. It is said to be as finiteness, termination. The last one is correctness. The last one is correctness. Corrected. So correctness is none other than it's a very correct, the input what you are given. The input what you are given should be in a very correct way. It should be in a very correct way. So exact input, and based on the input, you have to get the exact output. Same output has to be given. That's what correct. So these are the 5 different main important characters of the algorithm. The first one, it can be represented in various forms. Second one, unambiguity. That's what clearness. The third one, effectiveness. And fourth one termination, and the last one correctness. So these are the 5 different characters of the algorithm, can be represented in various forms. Algorithms can be represented in various forms. The second one is clearness. Third one is effectiveness, clearness, effectiveness, termination, and correctness. Algorithms can be represented in various forms. Unambiguity, that's what clearness, effectiveness, termination. The last one is correctness. Correctness. Next one, design and analysis of the algorithm. So design and analysis of the algorithm. We'll see what is about the design and analysis of the algorithm. So there are 2 different parts of it, which is the analysis and design. So what you're going to do, you're going to analyze. So you're going to analyze the algorithm. So predict the cost of an algorithm in terms of resource and performance. So you're going to predict the cost of the algorithm. Cost of an algorithm. You're going to predict the cost of an algorithm in terms of what? In 2 different terms. In terms of resource. What is a resource? Resource is none other than resource of a computer. What is a resource of the computer? Space. So based on time and space. So analysis is what? Predict the cost of an algorithm. Predict the cost of an algorithm. So what is needed? What is the cost of the algorithm in terms of resources and performance? In terms of resources and its performance. Resources is the time and the space, and performance is the capability, the caliber of the algorithms. The caliber of the algorithm. So that is what analysis. And what is the designing process? Designing the algorithm with minimize the cost, which minimize the cost. So what is the cost? That's what the time and space. So the algorithm, what you're going to code, the algorithm, what you're going to design should be designed in the minimum cost. It says that it should minimize the time which is taken and also the space which is taken. So that is what design. Design the algorithm which minimize the cost. I hope that you would have understood it. Design the algorithm which minimize the cost. What is the cost? The resources. What are the resources? The time and the space. So you have to design the algorithm which minimize the time and the space. So why I'm taking time? Because the time taken for running an algorithm, the time which is needed to an algorithm to be executed. So there will be any number of lines, probably let's say for an example, 10 number of lines in an algorithm. Each line should be executed. Each line should be executed. So if there are, let's just say for an example, 50 lines now, each 50 lines has to be executed. Only then you can get the output. So when each 50 lines are executed, eventually you'll take more time. I hope that you would have understood it. You'll take more time, as well as the memory, the space what you're going to utilize, the memory what you're going to utilize will be taken, will be used more. So that's what, to avoid it. So to avoid it, you must design an algorithm which minimize the time as well as space. So in such a way, you have to design the algorithm as well as the algorithm what you have designed should be completed by taking less time and less space. So through this, you can find out the performance of the algorithm. When you're giving a high level of input, your algorithm should solve the problem with high level of input with less time and less space. So you can say only if it is done You can say your algorithm, what you have coded earlier, can be an efficient algorithm. An efficient algorithm. So this is about the design analysis of algorithm. Next one. The characters of an algorithm. The character of an algorithm. What is the character of the characteristics of the algorithm? Unambiguous. As we already saw what is the characteristics of the algorithm. Algorithm should be clear and unambiguous. Algorithm should be clear and unambiguous. Should be very clear, unambiguous. Should be very clear. Easily you should understand that the the thing what you're going to the process what you are trying to instruct should be easily understandable. So a person who does not even know about the programming language, through this algorithm, we should understand it. What is the basic one? What is the process what you're going to do? He can understand it. So that's what algorithm should be a clear one. Each of its steps, each of its steps should be clear, and their input and output also should be clear. Each step of the algorithm should be clear and the input and output should be also clear. I hope that you would have understood it. So, so that's what everything what you are coding in the algorithm should be clear, should be very clear. So as I said about the input and output, an algorithm should have zero or more input, well-defined inputs. It should have zero or more level of input, which is well-defined input, which is well-defined input. More than zero, it should be well-defined input. So algorithm should be clear and algorithm should be clear and unambiguous. Each of its step and their input, each of its steps and their input, so the output should be clear. Each of its steps and their inputs and output should be clear and must lead to only one meaning. An algorithm should be clear and unambiguous. An algorithm should be clear and unambiguous. An algorithm should be clear and algorithm should be clear and unambiguous. Each of its step and their input and output should be clear and must lead to must be clear and it must lead to only one meaning. Should lead to only one meaning. What is an input? Input is the level of the size of the value what you're going to use in what you're going to use in a problem. So an algorithm should have zero or more well-defined inputs. An algorithm should have zero or more well-defined inputs. So what is an output? An algorithm should have one or more well-defined outputs. So an algorithm should have one or more well-defined output, one or more well-defined outputs, and should match the desired output, and should match the desired output. An algorithm should have one or more well-defined output, one or more well-defined output, and should match the desired output, and should match the desired output. Finiteness. Algorithm, as I said earlier about the finiteness, that's what about the termination. Algorithm must terminate after a finite number of steps. Algorithm must terminate after a finite number of steps. Algorithm must terminate after a finite number of steps. It should terminate after the finite number of steps. Next, feasibility should be feasible with the available resource. What is feasible? What is the need of the algorithm? Through this algorithm, a problem should be solved. So at least the problem should be solved. That is the feasibility. Okay, usage. with available resource. What is the available resource? The memory. So it should be feasible with the available resource. What should be feasible? The algorithm, what you're going to code should be feasible with available resource. So far we have discussed what is input, the output, the finiteness, and feasibility. Next one, independent. An algorithm should have step-by-step direction. The algorithm should have step-by-step directions which should be independent of any programming code. Very easy. So the algorithm, what you're going to write, should not be independent to any programming code. It should not be independent to any programming code. It should not be independent to. It should not be independent of any programming code. Which it should not be dependent to the. It should not be dependent to any programming code. An algorithm should have step-by-step direction which should be independent. It should not be dependent. It should not, which should be independent of any programming. It should not dependent to C. It should not dependent to C++. It should not dependent to Java. It should not dependent to Python. So it should be written in a normal English. It should be written in a normal language, the human language, not through the machine language, not through the machine language. It is the low level language, and the normal language what we are going to use for communication, it is the high level. So the instructions should be in high level language, so which is not a programming language, is not a programming code. So an algorithm should have step-by-step direction. An algorithm should have step-by-step directions which should be independent of any programming code. An algorithm should have an algorithm should have an algorithm should have step-by-step directions which should be independent of any programming code. Of any programming code. Next one, analyzing of the algorithm. As I said about the analyzing of the algorithm, what you are going to analyze? The performance of the algorithm can be analyzed. So the efficiency of the algorithm can be analyzed in two different stages. In two different points, the efficiency of the algorithm can be analyzed in two different stages. Before implementing the algorithm and after implementing the algorithm. So algorithm analysis is the analysis of efficiency of an algorithm. The efficiency of the algorithm can be analyzed. The efficiency of the algorithm can be analyzed at two different stages. The efficiency of the algorithm can be analyzed at two different stages in two different points. Before, that's what the first one is, before implementation, and the second one is after implementation. They are as follows. The first one is prior analysis. The second one is posterior analysis. What is that prior analysis? Analysis which is done before implementing, and the analysis which is done after implementing is posterior analysis. Prior analysis. This is a theoretical analysis of an algorithm. This is a theoretical analysis of an algorithm. Efficiency of the algorithm is measured. Efficiency of the algorithm is measured by assuming that all the factors for example, processor speed are constant and have no effect on implementation. This is the theoretical analysis of the algorithm This is the theoretical analysis of the algorithm. Efficiency of an algorithm is measured by assuming that all other factors, for example, processor speed, are constant and have no effect on implementation. So this is a theoretical analysis of an algorithm. Efficiency of an algorithm is measured by assuming that all factors, for example, processor speed, are constant and have no effect on the implementation. So this is the theoretical analysis of an algorithm. Very simple. So this is a theoretical analysis of the algorithm which is done before implementation. Efficiency of the algorithm is measured by assuming that you're going to assume that all the factors, what are the factors? For example, processor, processor speed are constant and have no effect on implementation. The second one is posterior analysis. What is that posterior analysis? So this is the analysis which is done after the implementation. So this is an empirical analysis of an algorithm. The selected algorithm is implemented using programming. Only the selected algorithm, only the needed algorithm is selected and it is implemented. It is applied using programming languages. This is then executed. This is then executed. This is then executed on target computer machine. This is then executed on target computer machine. In this analysis, actual statistics like running time and space required are collected. This is then executed. This is then executed on target computer machine. This is then executed on target computer machine. This is then executed on target computer machine. In this analysis, actual statistics, in this analysis, in which analysis? Posterior analysis. What's posterior analysis? This is the analysis which is done after implementing. Actual statistics like running time and space is required are collected. I hope that you would have understood it. Analysis of an algorithm. Analysis of how good the algorithm is. How good the algorithm, what you're going to do is checked. It is analyzed based on the correctness. Based on the correctness. The second one is time efficiency and the space efficiency. How much time it is used for the algorithm to execute, and how much space which that algorithm is taking, how much space and memory, how much algorithm is for taking for completing the process. These are the two different ways of analysis of the algorithm. Does there exist a better algorithm? Lower bound algorithm. That's what the limit which has low. The limit which is very low can be, the limit which is very low can be a better algorithm, which is optimalability algorithm. So this is how you have to analyze the you have to analyze the algorithms. You have to analyze the algorithms. Algorithm complexity. There are two different complexity for an algorithm: the time complexity and the space complexity. Suppose X is an algorithm and N is the size of the input data. Suppose X is an algorithm. Suppose X is an algorithm and N is the size of the input data. Suppose X is the algorithm. Let's assume X it is an algorithm and N is the size of the input data. The time and space, the time and the space the time and the space used by the algorithm. The time and the space used by the algorithm. The time and the space used by the algorithm. X are the two main factors, as I said, the time complexity and the space complexity. Suppose let's assume X is the algorithm. X is an algorithm. Suppose X is an algorithm. Let's assume if X is the algorithm and N is the size of the input data. X is the algorithm and N is the size of the input data. In that algorithm, we are going to use the size of the input data. That's what N is the size of the input data. Based on the time and space used by the algorithm, there are two main factors which decide the efficiency of the X. What is the efficiency of the X? Efficiency of the algorithm. Please listen carefully. Suppose X is the algorithm. Let's assume, let's say, suppose an algorithm is given. In that algorithm, we are going to use the input data. The size, let's assume the size of the input data is here. So, in an algorithm, the size of the input data is n. The time and the space used by the algorithm are the two main factors, which decide the efficiency of the algorithm. As I said, the time complexity and the space complexity. So that's what which has been given as the time factor. So time is measured by counting the number of key operations such as comparison in the sorting. Let's assume they are taking example for the sort. How much number of time which is needed for comparing the data, the comparison in the sorting algorithm, such as comparison in the sorting algorithm. How much number of time, how much number of time the comparison is time in the sorting algorithm. So that is a time factor. So time is measured by counting the number of key operations such as comparisons in the sorting algorithms. Time is measured by counting the number of key operations such as comparisons in the sorting algorithms. Time factor. Time is measured by counting the number of key operations. It is the number of key operations such as comparisons in the sorting algorithms. So that is the first one. The time complexity. What is that space complexity? Space is measured by. The space is measured by counting the maximum memory space. Space is measured by counting the maximum memory space. Space is measured by counting the maximum memory space required by the algorithm. Space is measured, the space which is needed for doing the process. So what is the process? Completing the task. What is the task? The problem has to be solved. How the problem has to be solved? The problem needs the algorithm. How the algorithm completes the problem? Only through the algorithm, the programming code can be written. Only through the algorithm, the programming code can be written. Space is measured by counting the maximum memory space. Memory space required by the algorithm, needed by the algorithm. The complexity of the algorithm with a function n gives the running time and or the storage space by the algorithm in terms of n. So n can be time and n can be size of the input data. Function n gives the running time, gives the running time and or the storage space required by the algorithm in terms of n as the size of the input data. Size of the input data. So space complexity. Space complexity of an algorithm represents the amount of memory space required by the algorithm in its life cycle. Space complexity of an algorithm represents the amount of memories, how much memory space which is required to complete the algorithm. So that's what an algorithm, if it takes more space, it's not an efficient algorithm. So that says about the space complexity. The space required by an algorithm is equal to the sum of following two components. So the space complexity of an algorithm represents the amount of memory space required by the algorithm in its life cycle. In its life cycle. Required by the algorithm in its life cycle. The space required by an algorithm, the space required by the algorithm is equal to, the space required by the algorithm is equal to the sum of following two components. Space complexity of an algorithm represents the amount of memory space required by the algorithm in its life cycle. The space required by an algorithm is equal to the sum of following two components. A fixed part, that is space required to store certain data and variable that are independent of the size of the problem. For example, simple variables or constants used program size, etc. Used program size, etc. A fixed part, that is space required to store certain data and variables that are independent of the size of the problem. For example, simple variables and constants used program size, etc. A variable part is space required by variable whose size dependent on the size of the problem. Dependent on the size of the problem. Whose size depends on the size of the problem. A variable part is the space. A variable part of the space required by variable whose size depends on the size of the problems. Very size of the problems. For example, dynamic memory allocation and recursion space, etc. Running time. Running time depends on the input. An already sorted sequence is easier to sort. An already sorted sequence which is easier to sort. Major simplifying conversion. The major simplifying conversion parameterize the running time by the size of the input. Since short sequences are easier to sort than long ones. TA of n equal to time of a length of n input. Generally, we seek upper bound on the running time to have a guarantee of performance. The running time depends on the input. The time which is taken to run an algorithm is dependent on the input. An already sorted sequence. An already sorted sequence is easier to sort. An already sorted sequence is easier to sort. An already sorted sequence is easier to sort. Major simplifying convention. Parameterize parameterize the running time by the size of the input. Parameterize the running time by the size of the input. Since short sequence are easier to sort than since short sequence are easier to sort than the long ones. So TA of n, which is the time of an any of an length of n. Generally, we seek upon bounds on the running time. We seek upon upper bounds on the running time. We seek upon the upper bounds, higher limit, higher value on the running time to have a guarantee of performance. See, if you want to check the performance, you have to give higher value as the input. Only then you can find out the performance of it. Even though the input value is high, If your algorithm completes the whole problem within few time which is taken in less memory, less time and less memory, it is an efficient algorithm. The problem what you're going to solve, which has an input as very high, even though if it has an input as very high, if it solves the problem with less time and less space, it is said to be as efficient algorithm. So that's what we just said as guarantee of the performance, which is the guarantee of the performance. Okay. So based on this, asymptotic performance is formed. What's that asymptotic performance? So asymptotic performance, there are three different cases: the worst case, the best case, and the average case. The worst case of the algorithm, the best case of the algorithm, and the average case of the algorithm. So, so this best, worst case is given in big O, the best case is denoted in theta, and the average case is denoted in omega. So here, in the algorithm should fall in three different levels, whether it is the best case, big O notation, worst case is big O notation, theta is best case notation, and omega is average notation. When n large enough, yeah, theta n square algorithm always beats a theta cube algorithm. Asymptotic analysis is usually tool to help the structure our thinking toward better algorithm. We should not ignore asymptotic slower algorithm. However, real world design situation often call for careful balancing. So best case, average case, and worst case. So best case of the algorithm, which says that even though the time, even though the space is increased, I mean the size of the input is increased, the time and the space is less. If it is taken, it is an efficient algorithm. Very simple. Then you'll understand it. So there is a problem to be solved. This problem has the input of higher input. Even though the input is higher, the time and the space which is taken for the algorithm, if it is less, that is a best algorithm. So beyond that, there is no other best algorithm. What is the worst case? So worst case says that worst case, if an algorithm takes more number of more number of space and more number of time, it is the worst algorithm. So what is the average case? So the case which lies between the worst case and the average case, it is best case, and the average worst case, it is the average case. So when n gets enough, when n gets enough, an algorithm always beats a n cube algorithm. So the asymptotic analysis is a useful tool to help to structure our thinking towards better algorithm. We should not ignore it. We should not ignore the asymptotically a slower algorithm. However, real-world design algorithms design situation often call for a careful balancing. So that's what in running time depends on the input. An already sorted sequence is easier to sort, and already time depends on the input. An already sorted sequence is easier to sort. The running time depends on the input. An already sorted sequence is easier to sort. More simplifying conversion, parameterize the running time by the size of the input. Since short sequences are easier to sort than the long ones. So that's why TA of n, time of A on length n input, generally we seek upper bounds on the running time to have the guarantee of the performance. So based on 3 different notation, the big O notation, the theta notation, and the omega notation, big O notation, theta notation, and omega, big O notation, theta notation, and omega notation, which states that the best case, the worst case, and the average case. So that is about the asymptotic performance. So far, we have discussed about different stages of an algorithm, which is the theoretical study of design, the reason course about what is an algorithm. We saw what is an algorithm about, and then we saw what is design and analysis of an algorithm, design and analysis of the algorithm. What is analysis? What is design? We saw it. Then we saw the characteristics of the algorithm. The characteristics of the algorithm. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different characters of the algorithm. There are 6 different characters of the algorithm. The unambiguous algorithm should be clear. That's what the input, the output, the finiteness, the feasibility, the independent. So these are the 5 different characters of the algorithm. And apart from it, we saw the analysis of the algorithm, the prior analysis and the posterior analysis. So the analysis which is done before the implementation and after the implementation of the algorithm, before the implementation and after the implementation. So before the implementation of the algorithm is called prior analysis, and the posterior analysis is called after implementation. So analysis of the algorithms can be classified into, as I said, the time efficiency and the space efficiency, the lower bound and the upper bound. And then we saw what about the things about the algorithm complexity, the space complexity, as well as the time complexity, 2 different algorithm complexity, the time factors and the space factor, space complexity, everything. Then we saw the cases, the asymptotic performance, the 3 different cases: best case, worst case, and average case. So I hope that everyone would have understood it. I think this course would have been useful to you. Thank you for listening. Thank you, everyone. Thank you all.